outside when it's dangerous. And if you shoot, you ain't miss. That nigga ball like game 6. That nigga ball like game 6.
You can't come outside when it's dangerous. Gotta get the blicky when it's dangerous. Young niggas, we done came from Navy. Thought we would stop, we just can't quit. Thought we would stop, we just can't quit. All that like us niggas up in game 6. Busy with the bullshit, you can save it. All that like us niggas up in game 6.
Game 60 bands on my neck when I got it on me. And I remember I was broke, I never let them hold me. Final seconds with my back against the wall. 81 point strong with this K, I call it Kobe. Running through this lettuce, nothing you can tell us. I gotta watch my back, I know that they get jealous. Real shit, I got rich, ain't gotta embellish. Real life made men, they call us good fellas. And I ain't got anxiety, I know it's intuition. May never love a bitch, but I for sure play my position. I know the streets talking, I'm cracking, so I ain't tripping. I try to play for keeps, but I guess them niggas ain't listening. Sick like Jordan, call it game 6. Shoot like Curry, and I can't miss. Nah, you can't come outside when it's dangerous. Niggas never outside when it's dangerous.
You can't come outside when it's dangerous. Gotta get the blicky when it's dangerous. Young niggas, we done came from Navy. Thought we would stop, we just can't quit. Thought we would stop, we just can't quit. All that like us niggas up in game 6. Busy with the bullshit, you can save it. All that like us niggas up in game 6.
I've been winning, tell my ops check the scoreboard. Money in the attic, work all in the floorboards. Late night, this the life that we pray for. Overtime with the pack is what we in the game. For myself in the game and everything is just a memory. Made a couple plays for the pain, not an enemy. Gotta watch my friends more, I gotta watch the enemies. The haters hella fake, I know what enemies' intentions. I let it go until it click if I'm an aiming. Started staying safe and ended up staying dangerous. Game on the line, see the pressure I can take. Hall of fame shit, so if it's mine, I'ma take niggas sick like Jordan, call it game 6. Shoot like Curry and I can't miss. Niggas never outside when it's dangerous. Niggas never outside when it's dangerous.
You can't come outside when it's dangerous. Gotta get the blicky when it's dangerous. Young niggas, we done came from Navy. Thought we would stop, we just can't quit. Thought we would stop, we just can't quit. All that like us niggas up in game 6. Busy with the bullshit, you can save it. All that like us niggas up in game 6. You can't come outside when it's dangerous. Gotta get the blicky when it's dangerous. Young niggas, we done came from Navy. Thought we would stop, we just can't quit. Thought we would stop, we just can't quit. All that like us niggas up in game 6. Busy with the bullshit, you can save it. All that like us niggas up in game 6.
Sick like Jordan, call it game 6. Shoot like Curry and I can't miss. You niggas never outside when it's dangerous. You niggas always inside when it's dangerous. Shoot like Curry and I can't miss. Niggas sick like Jordan, call it game 6. Niggas never outside when it's dangerous. You niggas never outside when it's dangerous.
Welcome back to another episode of the Adam and Wack Show, a bonus episode, if you will. And today we have decided to convene with the Viral Way, coming straight out of Long Beach. So watch your mouth.
Listen,
we don't want to hear any LB slander, buddy.
Never LB slander. I got comrades over there. But this what our first thing I notice about y'all. Y'all keeping the look up, but y'all got some bougie shit going on.
What you mean?
What's the bougie shit?
Because see,
He starting
y'all
already.
call them lokes.
Versace
We
glasses?
call them murder ones, but y'all got the Versace joints.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? They got the look. The front is the look. They still got the 80s look. But the bougie shit is on the side of them.
Nah, you ain't gonna find the looks like that unless you go dig down and get them.
You got to go to the swap meet.
Nah, it's a new generation. What Nip say? Fly crippin'. You feel me?
There you go.
Keep it that way.
I guess they're saying this chair might be better for the squeakiness. I don't know if you want to do the switch out. Yeah.
I ain't never heard
Nah,
nobody
that make
squeaking
more
like
sense,
that in that
yeah.
goddamn
Yeah,
chair.
this chairs have been squeaking a lot. We got to really try to address that.
Flacco sat in that motherfucker or what?
Oh, he is a bit of a stress test. Yeah, that's fair. Anyway, yeah, I'm glad to have you guys in there. What kind of preconceived notions are you coming in here with about the Viral Way? Because we wanted to have Brandon in here, but unfortunately, you're shook,
No, I'm not sure. I'm just
terrified,
not stupid.
scared of someone with a martial arts background and a brain.
I don't know what his background is. I just know that the dude's playing a crafty game. He can get Almighty because Almighty ain't paying attention to what's going on. Brandon know how to go here, there, and then play victim and Karen on your ass, right? So my thing is, I don't mind my talking crazy, as long as I can talk crazy back, and then if it get crazy, don't go civilian on me. I'm scared of them type of dudes today.
Okay, you guys know him better than us.
Yeah,
Do you agree with his analysis that he thinks that Brandon is trying to destroy No Jumper from the inside? They don't got to
deal with what we got to deal with.
What do you mean? They know him way better than us.
No, listen to him talk about them, right? He respects them. Like one of y'all in the crypto or do a bunch of shit, he respects what they doing, right?
Yeah.
So when they speak, right, he's gonna.
So let's start off by paying attention to the fact that Wack is terrified of Brandon. Like, terrified of Brandon. I don't know what Brandon did to Wack in the past life, but Wack is not feeling Brandon at all. And it's 100% based off intimidation. You want to go into immediately throwing slander at Brandon, but Wack be thinking he cool. He try to buddy up to ninjas to get him cool, and then be like, oh, yeah, you know, because I see what y'all got going on, some bougie-ish. Yeah, y'all got some money, man. I see y'all, man. Y'all some good dudes, man. Y'all over there getting to it. All that kind of stuff. The love is fake, y'all. The love is fake. The love is fake. The love is fake. The love is fake. The love is physique. That's all Wack's way of trying to cozy up to people, brown nose people, to get him to be on his side when he know for a fact that they probably wouldn't be in any other circumstances. You got the dudes from the Viral way. Shout out to Messiah. Shout out to Mr. Viral. I don't know why they call Mr. Viral green, but shout out to Messiah. Shout out to Mr. Viral. You got them dudes over there doing they 1-2 step like Tierra, and they rising in the ranks in his YouTube space. And you got Wack trying to figure out, how can I slither my way in here because I'm a snake? Period, point blank. With that all being said, though, let's continue this content.
Gotta go through what we gotta go through with him. If they don't want to talk about it, they're gonna be like, shh, and he gonna kill it.
I like how you're acting like you've been to hell and back with Brandon. Like, you guys are bros. You've been through everything.
They gotta run them episodes back because we argue and debate with him more than y'all do.
Yeah, I've never seen Brandon. I watched him a couple times, and I just like the way he articulates himself, because I could tell they been to the joint, they did time, they from the streets, but they not dummies.
Is that true? You guys have done time? I didn't know that.
Yeah, for sure.
Nah, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, they not dumb. Like, I can't, if you talking to me with street language, it irritates me. Changing motherfucking B's to C's.
He just said that he can't fuck with King Pill because when King Pill met him, he did not introduce himself by his gang affiliation.
No, he never identified
mixed
himself.
signals coming from you.
He never identified himself. Then was a belly dancer.
Okay.
Belly dancer is crazy. What's his beef with Brandon though? I didn't know they was beefing. I thought y'all squashed it.
Brandon threatened to whoop his ass.
No, he didn't. He never threatened to do that. Brandon, for some reason, I feel like dude is on a mission to prove himself and get a name for himself by going at people, which is cool. But when I heard the nigga start screaming, he got a knife, at that point, I'd be like, okay, well, let me leave that alone.
So somebody pulls a knife on you on a podcast, you're not allowed to announce that the person has a knife.
But Brandon can know.
And it only seems damning because they made the whole screen go black. If they hadn't have done that, everybody would have seen the knife, and everybody would have. It wouldn't have mattered that he said it.
My son, I raised like Brandon. My son, L7 square, he likes to do shit.
So Brandon was from a hood. And actually the enemy hood of them, which is interesting. I think
Brandon grew up in somebody's hood, but I don't think Brandon was like gang banging and shit. I think he understands it.
No, he said he was getting bullied on the way home, so he had to.
We got a lot of cats that grew up on the block, but they understand it. They know who's what, who's doing what, but they not that. But I get his game.
How long you guys even been close with him?
I knew Brandon for like 10 years now.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Yeah,
so
I've been on it for like 10 years.
I met him like since we started podcasting, so a couple years through bro.
Okay.
Yeah, because I met him on some, he used to, on his Pan-African shit real heavy. So, we had like some shit going on in the community I used to pull up to. And that's really how I met him. Because he knew my baby mama before I knew him. So we kind of had like always mutuals, but I never was running into him like that.
Okay.
See, I just learned as much as what y'all did just now.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, because by the time I met him, he was done with the gangbanging shit. Like,
okay.
Also, he was from the same.
Yeah, he's from Torrance.
No, he's from
originally.
the other side.
Huh?
Yeah, he's from Torrance.
They've been saying he's from
daddy
Torrance.
originally. No, his daddy from the set. He from over there.
Yeah.
Got you.
Yeah.
But he
really gangbang.
I don't know the extent of it, but as a young teen for sure, probably so.
And because see, this is what I didn't understand, right? he playing with Almighty, right? And he know how these young niggas play, especially a dude that he knows he ain't got no win. He know that. So I'm sitting there watching him like, damn, dude, he know what they expect from that, especially round 2. Now you done told him you can do jiu-jitsu or MMA, whatever you do. You look like you about 260, 280. You a solid dude. This little nigga ain't finna play fair with you.
Yeah,
I think
Now, notice how Wack's whole everything switched up once Viral Way's like, nah, you keep trying to make Brandon out to be a buster. He used to wooty bam. What's incredible is the small thinking of rat run runner is that's what he seeks his validation. Brandon's a highly intellectual individual, highly intellectual debater. He's back and forth, fight, back and forth. 1-2 stepping like Sierra. With that all being said, when Wack all of a sudden sees that he can't vilify Brandon as a cornball, nor can he discredit him as being like a quote unquote civilian, which I don't understand what's wrong with that, because like I said, I'm a square as a box of Apple Jacks, twice as green. Call me the squarest of the berries, square bear. I'm not really sure why that is what we're looking at as, this is shaking a lot. I'm not sure why this is what we look at as our standards of greatness, our standards of respect, our standards of success. But, a small-minded individual is going to be a small-minded individual, and a small-minded individual only has what a small mind has to offer. So there's that. But let's kind of jump back into this conversation.
What's coming from that? Y'all placing them in the same room.
You talk about, I said the same shit.
we can only blame Lush and Josh for that.
I said the same thing.
What time it was.
I said, bro, first of all, why did y'all even put dude back in that room?
To figure out who was the biggest, baddest one in the room.
No, but see, I'm understanding already. Round 2, dude is gonna play it different. So is it worth that?
Okay, so this is the thing. They knew that they were going to be in the same room doing a podcast. This is the thing, though. Almighty changed his number. So we didn't realize that we were texting Almighty's old number, telling him about it. So according to Almighty, he found out that morning from looking at Instagram, and his attitude was, well, I'm not going to look like a bitch and not show up to the podcast, so I'm showing up.
So look like a dummy and lose your job. I'd have lost that battle to win the war. The war would have been,
we all know your shit.
Don't show up to this one so you could continue to show up to your he needed the job.
But you are Mr. like moves super tactical. Like you don't ever put yourself in a situation that you don't want to be in. Some people value their freedom and still want to be able to move around. And, I'm sure, well, I can't say that I'm sure he didn't expect to get into a situation since apparently he brought a weapon, but I mean, I'm sure he thought that he would be able to make it through that situation, which Brandon is. When Brandon wants to antagonize
he ain't got
you,
no win with Brandon in that little ass room.
It don't matter though, but the fact that y'all had security, y'all knew what the was going on.
we wanted to save them from themselves, which it did work.
Yeah, so you called security last minute or something?
No, we had security on deck the whole time because we wanted to make sure that if anything did happen, that
but why
couldn't go too far.
But why even run the risk of that?
Because we wanted to bring people together
For the content.
Yeah, it went crazy. It went up.
It went exactly how they wanted it to go.
It didn't go exactly how Almighty wanted it to go.
Nah, not
He
at
got
all.
a job.
But it did help with his street rep, right?
What street rep?
Now he's locked up and he's able to say, I almost stabbed somebody a couple days ago.
He don't have a street rep. His lack of street rep is what made him do that. Brandon did his research, found out the politics and where he was from, found the video. Look, everything else was cool. Is when Brandon poked the bear and said, yeah, like you was in that alley on your back, kicking your feet, begging for help, that's when they was putting him off. That's what triggered him.
I think it was actually a different thing.
Bullshit.
Nah, it was that for sure.
Every time.
Nah, it was that.
That's what triggered it.
Almighty has told us multiple times that video is not him getting put off the hood. That's him getting into a situation with something else.
No, that's definitely him getting put off.
I mean, I don't know.
That's why he tells you you're not a gang member.
I don't know. Right? He said that on the podcast before. I don't know.
Yeah, so, but end of the day, Brandon fought back. I will say Almighty kept using the bitch word.
Yeah.
I told him, you shouldn't even did that. Mentally, you ain't ready for that. Brandon ready for him. It ain't nothing dude can say to Brandon that Brandon's going to care about. He's going to keep picking and poking and picking and poking until you crack. You can call Brandon whatever you want. He going to say, I don't care. You can call him a bitch. That's cool. As long as you don't put your hands on him.
I think that's how Brandon felt at first, because keep in mind.
No, when he spit on him, that's when Brandon
on
reacted.
the podcast, when
Now, Adam for sure knew that a flu flam was afoot. Adam for sure knew that a flu flam was afoot. That is the reason why he has security on deck. If he didn't think a flu flam was afoot, there would be no security on deck for that situation. You feel me? There wouldn't be. Period, point blank. So because he knew that there was a flu flam afoot, he had security on deck. He knew that things could go left. He knew that things probably wasn't gonna go right because it was gonna go left, and that's what the situation was. Now, we're not gonna sit here and pretend like everybody's not accountable for their own decision making, but Adam, nigga, you know damn well what was finna go on in that situation, which is why you were prepared for your studio not to get fucked up. Come on, bro. We're not finna act like we didn't all see what the hell we all just seen. Come on, Adams. Come on, Adams with an S. Come on, Adams with an S. That don't even make no sense, bro. That don't even make no sense. With that also being said, the provocation was for sure the conversation about Almighty being in that alley. He ain't like that ish. That's why we was all trolling him and bringing it up, because he didn't like it. That's why we did it. So, and I say we, because I even include myself. You feel me? That's why I brought it up, because I knew that he wouldn't like it. I wanted to get a reaction out of him, of a negative feeling, and that's why I brought that up. So, you know, to act like, oh, I don't know, blah, blah, like, no, nigga, that's what the fuck brought up the issue, and that's where things went left at, and here we are. You feel me? So, with that being said, though, I will throw a free Almighty suspect into the air, because shouldn't nobody be locked up in a cage, and I'm a firm believer of that, man. I'm a firm believer of that. Should no one be locked up in a cage, and free that nigga until he's free. I'll give him that for sure.
Call him a bitch, that's cool. As long as you don't put your hands on him.
I think that's how Brandon felt at first, because keep in mind.
No, when he spit on him, that's when Brandon
on
reacted.
the podcast, when Almighty first pointed at the door and said, let's go outside, let's go run the fade. He had no idea that Brandon is super strong and like mega, like probably extremely difficult to get in a fight with. But if Brandon had got up at that moment and said, all right, let's go. And listen, I believe that fight only could have gone one way. Look, that would have been a very different path for this whole story.
That's on Almighty. There's a difference between a fat, sloppy nigga.
Yes. And Almighty definitely thought he was talking to Louis Anderson.
Big dude.
Didn't realize he was talking to somebody that can bench 500. Yeah.
That's a solid big dude.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
You can tell he can move.
Like you.
So that's on Almighty. If Almighty didn't know how to tell what he was dealing with, then that's on him. But, you know, Brandon, he won that, and Brandon don't care. He don't give a shit. He hope he never don't come back. Brandon's on his mission.
I mean, he's still trashing him on his story like right now.
Man, he PC'd him up. He didn't tell the niggas a PC. Y'all let him get that off.
So why you won't sit down with him?
Because I know he's a gaslighter.
You feel like he's gonna get under your skin?
Yeah, you think he's gonna win physically and mentally?
No, I'm not worried about that because I'm not Almighty. My politics.
I think you're scared to sit down with somebody that you know has the upper hand physically and mentally.
He don't got the upper hand on me.
Well, then why wouldn't you sit down with him?
This is the reason. He would never have the upper hand on me. I understand he's a very intellectual brother, right?
Yeah.
I have no problem when somebody's talking about something I don't know nothing about, turning into the student. I'm never going to challenge him on some shit that I know I don't know nothing about. I'm going to tell him to educate me. The only time you get into a pickle with him is if you challenge him on some shit that you don't know nothing about. As if you do, then he going to eat your ass up.
Yeah.
Right? He's a very intellectual brother. I give him that. He did a great job with that white dude. Mm-hmm. Right? I salute him on that. But I could be wrong. I think he's on a mission to gaslight people, put them in a trick bag, and I just what I feel. And I got to go with my gut feeling.
So you think he's going to put you in the trick bag and then you're not going to be able to deal with it?
His position is, I can't do what he can do. He can start some shit, do some shit, and tell, and it's cool. He's going to laugh about it.
Why are we even thinking about any kind of illegal behavior? Because who's he going to have to tell to?
Because you're a white dude.
But you're going to beat the shit out of him and then he's going to tell? Like, if you don't hit him, then what's he going to tell for?
Okay, watch this. It's certain things that you can do or say to him to where you might get that reaction, or me, or whatever. We all got our little short fuse things, right? Mm-hmm. And I understand that. See, know your strengths and know your weaknesses, right? I don't mind entertaining my evil. You know how I stay away from entertaining it? I stay away from those things that's going to make me go to that. So I just feel right now at this point in time that Brandon is a gaslighter. And I feel like he not going to play it all the way out.
At this point, can we just admit to the fact that Brandon strikes literal fear into Rat Run Runner's heart? Like literal fear? Literal fear? Adam's calling him out on it. He's scared of Brandon. on an intellectual and a physical level. He's scared of Brandon. It's all fun and games until the rapper got the gun. This just goes to show you the bully mentality of a rat run runner. And to think some of y'all thought that he was credible. Hey, B100. Hey, comments. B100, man. Just B100. Who thought that Wack was credible and then was like, damn, he a buster. Rich Trapper was right. If you still think he credible, hey, man, that's your business. That's your business. I ain't here to say nothing about nobody. I ain't here to say nothing about nobody except for Wack, because he a buster. But which one of y'all thought that he was credible? And now you can see the light. Let me know in the comments. Let's finish this out.
Keeping it content is a little different because some shit ain't content.
The difference is, I think he has respect.
I can say some shit to you that's not content.
Yeah, for sure.
You get what I'm saying? Everything's not content to us. So in my head, if Brandon was a super L7 dude, right, then I would be like, maybe he didn't know.
Which you thought he was until like 5 minutes ago.
No. I knew he come from something.
All right.
Because I can hear his speech, but I know Brandon know what he doing and what he's saying, and I feel like he'll do or say some shit that he know I'm supposed to react like. If I don't react, you's a bitch, Wack. But
Yeah,
then if I do react,
He's going to say something about you laying on your belly.
You get what I'm saying?
So do you think it's because you're not going to be able to trigger him because he just don't give a fuck about what you say? Because you a gaslighter too.
Yeah, get the exposers on him.
Gaslighter for sure.
No,
Put together a
because
dossier
this is
of
the
information
thing, right?
beforehand.
I don't got nothing to trigger the nigga about. I ain't got no issues with him. I just don't like he treads that police line shit.
What's the police shit? Just saying that somebody had a knife?
And that's police shit.
Oh, that was such a stretch.
Huh?
He didn't call the police. The police weren't notified in
Nigga,
any
you
way.
niggas is
He
lying.
made an objective statement about something that he was seeing on camera, which
You
is
got
not
the
illegal. It's not
You
illegal to
got
have
the
a
most
knife.
police watch platform.
What is the thing that he did that was police adjacent?
Oh, you got a knife. You got a knife.
If he said, "Oh, he's got a gun with a switch on it," if he said he got a Uzi, all right, now we're talking.
No,
it's not
don't.
illegal to have a goddamn knife in your pocket unless it's a specific type of
Okay,
knife.
now watch this. Let's say 3 months from now, Almighty in the mall stab a motherfucker. I guarantee you that clip gonna be in this paperwork.
Yeah, but I mean that makes him a snitch.
No, what up? I'm not.
He pulled it out on camera, and the guy who said an accurate description of what was going on in front of him is the snitch, not
And you agree
the
with
person
it, right?
who did it on camera.
You agree with it, right?
With what?
What he did?
No, I don't care. Yeah, why not?
But so do you agree with him screaming that out?
Especially in the heat of the moment. Yeah, I can't blame him for that.
That's what I'm saying. I'm never going to agree with you. You a civilian L7 white dude who believe in calling the police.
Brother.
You call the police too, right?
No.
What?
Although you've advised me to in the past.
What? Advise you to do what? I know you don't call the police.
I don't have to.
If I whoop your ass on camera, you absolutely making a report.
If
That's
you
why,
whoop my ass
that's
on
why
camera,
I've already told myself the day you got to whoop his ass, whoop his ass good.
No.
Because you going to
jail. If you just whoop my ass,
you call the police.
No, why would I call the police over
You're
a fair ass
police.
beating?
Why fire him instead of like suspending him?
That's what I said.
Because y'all created the situation.
That's what I said.
Even by hiring security, you like, okay, it's a chance this can get physical. So when it get physical, it's like you can't get mad because this is the perfect.
But it's like the same reason that we put Brick and Loose Cannon on camera together. If people have had issues and the people want to see them on camera together,
That's totally different.
and you saw how that one worked out.
Them niggas been running the play the whole time, and you know it.
Them?
No, Brick and Loose. It was a fake play the whole time.
Was it?
Hey, man.
Why do you think that?
Adam be playing crazy. He know that.
Hey, bro.
I don't.
That's why
Adam
was on the flight. He was gone. He already knew what time it was.
It
When I
was a
get back,
fake
you better
play
get
the
out of
whole
here.
time.
I don't believe that at all.
Okay.
Yeah, they didn't want.
Okay, so you're telling me
they were trying to get him up out of here, man.
Brig Baby, who looks at Big U as his big homie, as Unk.
No, he doesn't.
Adam pointing out that Wack told him to call the police is absolutely barnacles, but we can all. That's not the most shocking thing that we've heard today, that Wack told Adam to call the police. That's completely believable. But yeah, man, it's just pretty clear to see that Wack is 100% afraid of Brandon because he knows that he can't really maintain the same type of energy with Brandon that he maintains with everyone else. Because mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, and verbally, Brandon probably whooped Wack's a double-double. With that being said, though, y'all know the deal. Red dots to the left. Y'all know the rest. Free Avenue Angel till he's free, and we are gone.